Hey guys, Kaz here, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I read in May. So let's just jump straight in. First of all, Sir Thursday by Garth Nix. This is the fourth book in the Keys of the Kingdom series, Keys to the Kingdom. This is like a middle grade / YA. It's in that middle ground, and it's about Arthur, who randomly, this like weird dude turns up and tells him he's the keeper of these keys and he has to do all this stuff. He's just a random normal kid with asthma, and he's thrown into this world of magic and weird stuff and different creatures, and he has to collect these keys and these parts of the will. So there's a will and all the words made up different sections of it, and he has to go around collecting them all. So that's the basic lowdown. Obviously this is book 4, so I can't really talk too much about the going into it, but each of these books, it has to go and sort of defeat in different ways these main characters. We have Sir Thursday in here, we had Mr. Monday in the first one, Grim Tuesday in the second one, etc, etc, because these different main characters work in this house. I told you about the house. Did I tell you about the house? There's a big magic house, and each of these dudes are like the main guy in their bit of the house, and he has to go and fight them or talk to them or steal off them, or he has to go and collect these things anyway. I feel like this is a really hard series to explain, but that's basically what's happening. But yes, I've been buddy reading this series and I am very much enjoying it. The first book I found was like a little bit slow. Obviously you had to gather all this information that I am trying and failing to convey to you, but since book 2, 3, 4 I've actually been really enjoying this series, so yes, glad to carry it on. We'll be reading book 5 this month, so yes. And as you can probably tell by the title, there's 7 books in this series. Without going too much into this one felt quite different to the previous ones because we are spending a lot of time in the house and seeing all these different working parts and what's happening in the house, and these Denzians, who are like the people that live in there, what they're getting up to and their business, rather than just following Arthur trying to collect these things. He's in a situation, in fact it tells you on the back of the book, to be fair, he basically gets called up for military service even though he doesn't live there. So it's a lot about the military and fighting these different creatures, and it's quite different to the other books, so yes, but I still very much enjoyed it. After that I read The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School by Sonora Reyes, and I very much enjoyed this one. It made me cry at least one time, maybe a couple, I can't remember. But yes, this is about Yamilet, and she goes to this boarding school. I think, is it a boarding school? It's not like a boarding school, it's just a rich school. She still comes home every day because in her old school, one of her friends, or someone who's meant to be a friend, outed her to the school. She's going to this fancy school now and she wants to be on the DL and not let anybody know that she's a lesbian. But yeah, it follows her, and this is very much about her and obviously her sexuality, but also there's a very strong familial presence in here. It's about her parents, it's about her brother, it's about them in general and their different dynamics, and I really enjoyed this book. There's a lot about her brother in here and how he deals with certain things, which I really enjoyed, and both her parents are very significant parts of this. Even though her dad doesn't live with them because he was deported, he still plays a very significant role in the book. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very good. I cried. There you go. Next up, right, so this one, I'm gonna hold this here but pretend it's 8 volumes. This is volume 3. So if you've been here, if you know this channel, you might have seen a couple of months ago I ordered a few things from Sci-Fi, and then they accidentally sent me 2 packages, and one of them had this and 2 other mangas in that I'd never heard of in my life. I contact them and saying, hey, like, I didn't order these, with every intention of like sending it back. I packaged them all back up nicely, but then they just sent me an email being like, yeah, just keep them or chuck them, whatever, it's our problem. So yeah, 3 random things I'd never heard of. This is one of them, Killing Stalking. So this is volume 3, and I had a look online and found a place you could read the other ones. Now let me just preface this by saying none of the characters are likeable. Like, everybody is a bad person in this series. There's trigger warnings for every single thing in the whole universe. There's just like, it's bad but I ate the fucking shit out of this. I ate it up. It was so good, but so, like, everyone was terrible. Basically, it's about this one guy who is stalking this other guy because he, like, saw him at school, and then while they were in the military, and was like, I really like him, let me just go and break into his house. And then when he breaks into his house, he finds a woman beaten up and bloody bruised, tied up in his basement. Turns out the guy he's stalking is actually a serial killer. Yeah, so killing, stalking, there you go. And yeah, this series, like, all of the trigger warnings for all of the things, anything violence, sexual aggressiveness, trauma, past trauma, now trauma, everything. But yeah, I really liked it. I was just like, boop, scrolling, reading the shit out of it, and then I read this one as a physical book because I owned it. And then I just got back on the internet and was like, let's go, let's carry on reading this absolute, like, shit show of all the characters. Like, nobody's a good person. Even the police officer that's, like, trying to figure out what's going on, he does some bad shit as well. Everybody does some bad shit. There you go. So yeah. Because it's a comic, I'll show you the artwork. This is the sort of artwork in here, the sort of artwork that I can show you on this page. Yes, it's just like, it's a lot, but I liked it. We're halfway through, so, well, we're not halfway through, we're more than halfway through, because that counted as 8. But yeah, here's a cat clip, and then I'll talk about some more books.
It wasn't actually shouting you.
So after that I read Just Saying, My Life in Words by Malorie Blackman. This is non-fiction about Malorie Blackman's life. And I really enjoyed this one. The way it's written is just really interesting and engaging, and it goes through different parts of her life. Obviously, if you don't know who Malorie Blackman is, she's an author, most famously I would say for the Noughts and Crosses series, but she's written like 80 plus books I think in her lifetime now. And this was just really good. It goes into her life at different points, when she was younger, how she got into published work, like how much time and effort and rejection she got before she got a published book. It goes into her health, and it's just really good, basically. So read it. Even if you've never read Malorie Blackman's books, I think you would definitely still get something out of this book, because this is very good. It talks a lot about, so obviously she is a black woman, and there's a lot in here that talks about race in different ways, not so much in like a really obvious in your face, here's someone being racist, but the very nuanced, like going to a hospital and people not believing you because like black women experience pain like better than other people is something that people think is a fact, or like not knowing how to diagnose certain things, not knowing how to treat certain things because doctors are not taught how to do it with for a person that isn't white, basically. This is mostly told as like normal narrative, but there are a few poems in here, and one of them made me cry, made me sob so much. So yeah, really enjoyed this book, and I would definitely recommend it to all the peeps. Just that poem, it's like, it's basically, it's about the time when she was pregnant for the first time and then lost the baby, and the reason behind it, and it's like, it's so sad, makes me cry, but also anger inducing because of why and how it happened. But yeah, really good book. And also, if you're like wanting to become an author and are very down about being rejected, this is also a good book to read, because she was rejected many times for many years, and it just proves that if you keep going, hey, maybe you'll be an author that's had like bajillions of books out, loads of adaptions, like the Children's Laureate, all of that jazz. So yeah. And then last but not least, I read The Leopold Files by Dane Cobain. I took this one with me to Prague so I could read it on the airplane, something to do. This one, unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy as much as the other two. So basically, with this, it's like a crime thrillery stuff. I don't read the synopsis because I don't want to know. I want to go in. I want to be shocked, like, oh, who's murdered? What's happened? Don't give me any information. The thing about that, though, is the information on the back of this tells me that this is a short story collection, and I don't really like short story collections. Well, I don't dislike them, but I find it very hard to give them above 3 stars, which is what I gave this one, because it's just like, first of all, there's not enough time to get into the story. it's 5 pages, it's over. Something happened, it's already been rectified. You know, so like for that reason. Another reason is because there's so many different stories, it's hard to be like, oh, even if one's like amazing, if loads of the other ones are fine, okay, alright, good, it's still not going to be like, this book is amazing. So yeah, that's how I felt about this one. I gave it 3 stars, which is fine for a short story collection. But it just felt like going through the motions, like here's another one, yeah, here's another one, here's another one. But what I will say is I liked the way that it was written, because they are short stories, but they're definitely linear. So you start it and each story carries on from the last, even if it's just a few months, a few years, it feels connected in a way that it's like, it's all about this one guy. And it starts in his childhood and then gets older. And then as certain things happen in his life, there'll be like a few stories set in a certain place that he was there. And then like after that, he'll setting up his business and there'll be a few stories, you know. So it makes sense the way it's written. But yeah, I'm just not a massive fan of short story collections, to be honest. And the ones that I do like are normally, they still have to be like longer. Because I'd say most of the things in here were maybe like 4, 5, 6 pages long. So it's a lot of short, snappy things. And the thing I liked about the other 2 books is obviously it's one case and you're following the case and there's twists and turns and ups and downs and like who's like, you find a new piece of evidence. Whereas when you've got 5 pages, it's like somebody comes to him and says, oh, I need you to look into this, because he's a private investigator, and then he looks into it and then he figures it out, and then that's 5 pages. So yeah, it just didn't work for me, but I'm pretty sure there's a 4th book and I definitely do want to read that. So yeah, those were all the books I read in May. Well, add on 7 volumes of Killing Stalking, but yeah, that's what I read in May. So you can say some words if you want down below about any of these books or whatever you read in May, or just use it because that's what it's there for. Yeah, the comment section, imagine that. Do the things if you want, like, comment, subscribe if you want, and yes, I'll be back in a few days with a big fat unhaul, so come back to enjoy that.